بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Good evening, my dear student, and this is the second part of the chapter 3 related to cloud computing. So we will continue by the remaining part of this cloud, in which we will talk about the main type of services provided by any cloud provider, such service model and deployment model. So as first, we will focus on the service models, and which can be summarized in 4 main services, and which are the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, SaaS, the software as a service, and the XaaS, which refer to anything as a service. So let's start by the first service model, which is the infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service is on-demand access to cloud-hosted computing infrastructure, servers, storage capacity, and networking resources that customer can provision, configure, and use in much the same way as they use on-premises hardware. The difference is that the cloud service provider hosts, manages, and maintains the hardware and computing resources in its own data centers. So, infrastructure as a service, customers use the hardware via an internet connection and pay for that use on a subscription or pay-as-you-go basis. Typically, infrastructure as a service customer can choose between virtual machines hosted on shared physical hardware or bare metal servers on dedicated physical hardware. So customers can provision, configure, and operate the servers and infrastructure resources via a graphical dashboard or programmatically through application programming interfaces, which is known as the API. In fact, infrastructure as a service can be thought of as the origin as a service offering every major cloud service provider, such Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, Microsoft Azure began by offering some form of infrastructure as a service. Now let's explain some benefits of infrastructure as a service. So compared to traditional IT, infrastructure as a service gives customers more flexibility without computing resources as needed, and to scale them up or down in response to spikes or slowdowns in traffic. Infrastructure as a service lets customers avoid the upfront expense and overhead of purchasing and maintaining its own on-premises data center. It also eliminates the constant trade-off between the ways of purchasing excess on-premises capacity to accommodate spikes versus a poor performance or outage that can result from not having enough capacity for an anticipated traffic burst or growth. So we can summarize some main benefits related to infrastructure as a service, and which can be summarized as higher availability, low latency by improving performance, improving responsiveness, a comprehensive security, and a faster access to best-of-breed technology. So what do we mean by high availability? So with the infrastructure as a service, a company can create redundant servers easily and even create them in other geographies to ensure availability during local power outage or physical disasters. For the lower latency and improving performance, so because infrastructure as a service providers typically operate data centers in multiple geographies, so infrastructure as a service customer can locate applications and services closer to users to minimize latency and maximize performance. For the improving responsiveness, here customers can provision resources in a matter of minutes, test a new idea quickly, and quickly roll out a new idea to more users. For the comprehensive security, so with a high level of security on site, data centers and via encryption, organization can often take advantage of more advanced security and protection they might provide if they hosted the cloud infrastructure in-house. The last point or the last benefit is about fostering access to best-of-breed technology. So here cloud providers compete with each other by providing the latest technology to their users. So infrastructure as a service customer can take advantage of these technologies much earlier than they can implement them on premises. This is what about the infrastructure as a service. Now let's explain the second type or the second service model, which is the platform as a service. So platform as a service provides a cloud-based platform for developing, running, managing applications. The cloud services provider hosts, manages, and maintains all the hardware and software included in the platform. Such servers, operating system, software, storage, networking, databases, middleware, runtimes, frameworks, development tools, and so on, as well as related services for security, operating system, and software upgrades, backups, and more. So here users access the platform as a service through a graphical user interface, which is known as the GUI, where development or developers teams can collaborate on all their work across the entire application lifecycle, including coding, integration, testing, delivery, deployment, and feedback. Examples of platform as a service solutions include Amazon Web Service, Elastic, Beanstalk, Google App Engine, Microsoft Windows Azure, and Red Hat OpenShift on IBM Cloud. Also, we have some benefits related to platform as a service, and which can be summarized in 5 main benefits. The first one is faster time to market. The second one is low to no risk testing and adoption of new technologies. The third one is simplified collaboration. The fourth one is a more scalable approach. And the last one is less to manage. What we mean by faster time to market? Platform as a service enables development teams to speed up development, testing, and production environment in minutes rather than weeks or months. For the low to no risk testing and adoption of new technologies, here platform as a service typically include access to a wide range of latest resources up and down the application stack. This allows, in fact, companies to test a new operating system, language, and other tools without having to make substantial investment in them or in the infrastructure required to run them. For the simplified collaboration benefits, as a cloud-based service, platform as a service provides a shared software development environment, giving development and operations teams access to all the tools they need from anywhere with an internet connection. For the fourth benefit, which is a more scalable approach, so with platform as a service, organization can purchase extra capacity for building, testing, staging, and running application whenever they need it. The last benefit is about the less to manage. So here, platform as a service offloads infrastructure management, patches, updates, and other administrative tasks to the cloud service provider. So, platform as a service can advance several development and IT initiatives, including, for example, the API development and management, Internet of Things, IoT, agile development and developers, cloud native development and hybrid cloud strategy. This is what about the platform as a service. Now let's explain the third service model, which refers to software as a service. Software as a service is cloud hosted, ready-to-use application software. So users pay a monthly or annual fee to use a complete application from within a web browser, desktop client, or mobile application. The application and all the infrastructure required to deliver it, servers, storage, networking, middleware, application software, data storage, and so on, all are hosted and managed by the software as a service vendor. So the vendor manages all upgrades and patches to the software, usually invisibly to customers. Typically, the vendor ensures a level of availability, performance, and security as part of a service level agreement. Customer can add more users and data storage on demand at additional cost. Today, anyone who uses or mobile phone almost certainly uses some form of software as a service. Email, social media, and cloud file storage solutions, for example, Dropbox, are examples of software as a service application people use every day in their personal lives. Popular business or enterprise software as a service solutions include Salesforce, HubSpot, Trello, which is workflow management, Slack, which is collaboration and messaging, and Canva, which is related to graphics. So many applications designed originally for the desktop are now available as a service, as a software, as a service. Now let's highlight some benefits of the software as a service model, and which can be summarized in three main points: minimal risk, anytime or anywhere productivity, and easy scalability. What we mean by minimal risk? Many software as a service products offer a free trial period or low monthly fees that let customers try the software to see if it will meet their needs with little or no financial risk. The second benefit is about anytime or anywhere productivity. So here users can work with software as a service application on any device with a browser and an internet connection. The last benefit referred to easy scalability. So adding users is as simple as registering and paying for new seats. So customers can purchase more data storage for a nominal charge. In fact, some software as a service vendors even enable customization of their product by providing a companion platform as a service solution. One well-known example is Heroku, which is a platform as a service for Salesforce. The last model is the XaaS, which means the anything as a service. Anything as a service describes a general category of services related to cloud computing and remote access. It recognizes the vast number of products, tools, and technologies that are now delivered to users as a service over the internet. Essentially, any IT function can be transformed into a service for enterprise consumption. So the service is paid for in a flexible consumption model rather than as an upfront purchase or license. Here also, it's important to highlight some benefits of the XaaS. In fact, there are several benefits of anything as a service. For example, improving the expense model, speeding new application and business processes, and shifting IT resources to higher value projects. What we mean by improving the expense model? With anything as a service, businesses can cut costs by purchasing services from providers on a subscription basis. Before anything as a service and cloud service, businesses had to buy individual products such as software, hardware, servers, security, infrastructure, and so on. And after that, install them on site, and then link everything together to create networks. So now with XaaS, businesses simply buy what they need and pay as they go. The second benefit is about speeding new applications and business processes. This model allows, in fact, businesses to quickly adapt to changing market conditions with new applications or solutions. So using multi-tenant approach, cloud services can provide much needed flexibility. Resources pooling and rapid elasticity support mean that business leaders can simply add or subtract services as needed. So a company can quickly access new technologies, scaling infrastructure automatically when users need innovative resources. The last benefit is about shifting IT resources to higher value projects. Increasingly, IT organizations are turning to an XaaS delivery model to streamline operations and free up resources for innovation. They are also using the benefits of XaaS to transform digitally and become more agile. In a recent survey by Deloitte, 71% of companies report that XaaS now constitutes more than half of their company's enterprise IT. So XaaS provides more users with access to cutting-edge technology and democratizing innovation. Currently, it's so essential to highlight some disadvantage of the XaaS. XaaS has some potential drawbacks, which are possible downtime, performance issues, and complexity. In fact, for the possible downtime, the internet sometimes breaks. And when it does, your XaaS provider might have problems as well. So with XaaS, there can be issues of internet reliability, resilience, provisioning, and managing the infrastructure resources. So if XaaS servers go down, users won't be able to use them. XaaS providers can guarantee services through the SLA, which is the service level agreement. This is for the first disadvantage. The second disadvantage is about the performance issues. As XaaS becomes more popular, bandwidth, latency, data storage, and retrieval times can suffer. If too many customers use the same resources, the system can slow down. So application running in virtualized environments can also face impacts. So in these complex environments, there can be integration issues, including the ongoing management and security of multiple cloud services. The last disadvantage is about complexity impacts. So pushing technology to XaaS can relieve IT staff of day-to-day operational headaches. However, if something does go wrong, it might be harder to troubleshoot. The internal IT staff still needs to stay current on the new technology. Costs for maintaining high performing robust network can increase. Also, the overall cost saving of XaaS models are usually much greater. Nonetheless, some companies want to retain visibility into their XaaS service providers environment and infrastructure. In addition, an XaaS provider that gets acquired discontinuous service or alters its roadmap can have a profound impact on the XaaS users. So this is mainly the service models related to any cloud computing. Now, let's explain something important, which is what is the levels or what is the services in which the user can manage and services in which it is prohibited to user to manage it. Here, if we take a look on this figure, we can say that in software as a service, there is no thing and everything is managed by the provider. Such virtualization, operating systems, middleware, developing environment, execution environment, data, application, and so on. On all the levels, storing, calculation, and network. But for the platform as a service, user can manage only applications, data, and execution environment. Contrarily to the infrastructure as a service, where everything is permitted to the user except virtualization. Okay. Now, let's explain the second type of service provided by any cloud computing, and which is the deployment model. So here, in fact, we have four main deployment models, and which are the private cloud, public cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud. What we mean by a public cloud? For businesses that need quickly access to computing resources without a large upfront cost, public cloud services are an ideal option. With the public cloud, your business purchases virtualized computing, storage, and networking services over the public internet from a cloud service provider. This can help you speed time to market, scale quickly, and gain the agility to quickly try out new applications and services. Since public cloud services are set up as pay per use, there is minimal investment to get started. They are also easy to scale, since you can simply buy more capacity as it's needed. Public cloud services are especially useful for workloads that may run for a short period of time. For example, a startup that cannot afford to wait months to prove its viability can get just the right amount of compute it needs for just as long as it needs it. Plus, your IT team won't need to maintain the hardware. So the largest cloud service provider today include Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Alibaba Cloud, Google Cloud, and IBM. In fact, there are a range of providers to choose from, both large and small, each offering its own menu of services. However, There are some workloads that simply won't work in the public cloud. For example, legacy applications that are too difficult or risky to migrate. As such, the private cloud here remains a critical part of your cloud strategy. This is what about the cloud or the public cloud. Now let's explain the second deployment model, which is the private cloud. So if you are looking for the most control over your resources and data, as well as a most cost-efficient solution over the long term, a private cloud is most likely your best choice. A private cloud is hosted in your data center and maintained by your IT team. Because your organization purchases and installs the hardware, this involves a substantial capital expenditure. It also requires ongoing management and operational costs. However, running workloads on a private cloud can deliver a lower TCO as you deliver more computing power with less physical hardware. It also gives you support for legacy applications that cannot be moved to the public cloud. So having your own private cloud also lets you control how data is shared and stored. This is often the best option if cloud security is a concern, since you can manage data governance, ensure compliance with any regulation, and protect valuable intellectual property. Additionally, your private cloud gives you on-demand data availability and ensuring reliability and support for mission-critical workloads. And because you can control how resources are used, you can respond quickly to changing workload demands. Okay, now let's move to the third deployment model, which is the hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud combines public cloud and private cloud environments by allowing data and application to be shared between them. This, in fact, helps businesses seamlessly scale services back and forth between their own infrastructure and the public cloud. Now, let's explain the last deployment model, which refers to the community cloud. A community cloud is a cloud infrastructure that allows a group of organizations in a same community to share the same computing resources, such as servers, data storage, etc., in order to save costs and improve efficiency. Community cloud answers the need of the organization within a group, where they want to balance the benefits of computing while also having good control over the security and privacy of the data. So after pooling all the resources and infrastructure, an organization is or in a community can benefit from lower costs, tailored services, and improved security. This type of cloud is managed, maintained, and controlled by the organization within a group or a third party. Sometimes it can be controlled managed and maintained by a combination of the third party plus organization in a community or group. In simple terms, community cloud is a type of cloud computing that serves specific groups of organization in a community. Now, let's highlight the main factors or the main parameters in choosing a cloud deployment model. So rather than taking a one-size-fits-all approach, IT decision makers should select a cloud deployment model on workload by workload basis. So you can start by conducting an assessment that considers your application needs and dependencies, as well as your business goals and drivers. Here it's important to keep in mind how your goals may change. For example, some workloads may start in the cloud due to the need for a fast time to market, but migrate to a private cloud to maximize control and TCO. Here are a few general guidelines to get started. Let's start by the private cloud. A private cloud is ideal for use cases in which you must protect sensitive information, including intellectual property, meet data sovereignty or compliance requirements, and ensure high availability. For the public cloud is ideal for use cases in which you must scale up quickly and accelerate time to market. Also, run workloads over the short term, manage upfront costs, and relieve demand on IT resources. Okay. So, a managed private cloud is a type of cloud services which is managed by a third-party vendors. This vendor is only responsible for hardware usage in the server. This managed private cloud architecture uses the approach where a single instance of software runs on a cloud server. The single instance runs for one single customer. The customer provides their software, and the third-party vendor provides hardware to host the software. This model supports a single tenant environment. In many cases, the client does not want to share their data out of their premises, or data should not spread to some specific location. In this scenario, managed private cloud is the best solution to implement. So, to manage private cloud model, it's important to does not allow to share the server with any other customer and is also hosted on premises of the client customer data center. Secondly, it's easy to deploy and integrate the application services and customized software in the dedicated private cloud environment. Thirdly, reducing the maintenance costs to manage the resources and infrastructure by third-party outsourcing by the managed cloud provider. Now let's talk about the virtual private cloud. A virtual private cloud is a type of private cloud which is hosted within the public cloud. It's a non-daemon configuration that is implemented as isolated for one customer on shared infrastructure. Managed private cloud is a single tenant model where this virtual private cloud supports a multi-tenant architecture. This private cloud model is secure and isolated, hosted on the public cloud, in which the organization can build, implement, and execute its application, hard customized software, websites, and services in this environment. Also, the data can also be stored in a virtual private cloud. The customer can too do anything as they can do in a private cloud environment as per their requirements. And also, it's a type of model which is supported by any public cloud provider that configures a private cloud-like environment on shared infrastructures. So all the public cloud service providers provide support and services on the virtual private cloud. Now, let's move to the second type of the private cloud, which is the hosted private cloud. Hosted private cloud is a type of private cloud which is hosted off premise instead of the customer on premise. In this cloud computing method, the cloud servers are not physically configured and installed on the customer physical location. So in this model, we have third-party vendor in which host and manage services in cloud servers remotely. A dedicated server is used to host the customer services and applications into the cloud. Many public service vendors provide services on the hosted private cloud. In this environment, the application and server are accessible by a single organization. As this model is implemented in the public cloud, infrastructure costs are less compared to other private cloud models. So for the premise private cloud is also a type of cloud computing model. When an organization avails services in their premises, then the infrastructure and application are hosted on premises. Data is stored in organization physical location where cloud infrastructure is located. This cloud environment helps customers to build and deploy applications and services in a secure and dedicated cloud-based environment. Okay. Now, let's provide you some or the top 10 cloud computing trends, and which are: companies will spend more on public clouds in the wake of the pandemic. Second, multi-cloud and hybrid cloud will help alleviate downtime worries. 3, container technology will slowly but steadily gain in popularity. 4, virtual desktop will become more commonplace and mainstream. 5, security technology will evolve to become cloud native and it first. 6, communication and collaboration and collaboration will be important cloud use cases. 7, serverless computing will be an exciting adoption area even outside of tech. 8, companies will struggle to keep budget in check. 9, cloud will power widespread artificial intelligence adoption. And finally, Azure will gradually catch up to Amazon Web Service, avoiding a market monopoly. Here it's important to focus on the cloud in which will power widespread artificial intelligence adoption. So artificial intelligence is increasingly in demand across all business horizontal and verticals. So cloud computing and the availability of cloud-hosted artificial intelligence libraries, modeling engines, and algorithms will be crucial to its adoption. So according to Deloitte State of Artificial Intelligence in the Enterprise Survey, 93% of all AI or artificial intelligence deployment use cloud-based capabilities. So the two technologies will continue to grow in tandem across 2025. Also, for Azure, in which we gradually catch up to Amazon Web Services and avoiding a market monopoly. Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud are recognized as the big three in the public cloud segment. Amazon Web Services has been rapidly gaining market share for some time, and experts have predicted there is the possibility of a market monopoly. However, in the last few quarters, Microsoft has grown at an accelerated pace, and the gap between the two is shrinking. In 2025, we could see Amazon Web Services and Azure going head to head for some of the industry's largest contracts. Okay. Also, it's important to highlight that security technologies will evolve to become cloud native and it first. A vital part of cloud evolution is the decentralization of remote hosting and processing through edge infrastructure. While cloud was already an area of focus for cybersecurity providers, including security risk, the edge is the next frontier. This culminates in significant interest around Secure Access Service Edge, which is known as the SaaS, S-A-S-E, covering the entire IT landscape across clouds, data centers, software as a service, and its devices. Gartner reports that enterprises Secure Access Service Edge adoption will take place over several years. And 2025 could be when you outline your strategic roadmap. Finally, it's also essential to talk about or to explain the communication and collaboration in which will be important cloud use cases. So one of the first priorities after the large-scale shift to remote work in 2020 was the modernization of communication and collaboration channels. So here, cloud allows companies to connect remotely, facilitating both internal collaboration and external customer engagement. This is not limited to the voice over IP or cloud-based video conferencing alone. So cloud-based tools allow for collaborative coding, collaborative document management, business intelligence, collaboration, and a host of other productivity drivers. As a result, cloud-based communication and collaboration through unified communication as a service which is known as UCaaS. Also, contact center as a service, which is known as the CCaaS, and the communication platform as a service, which is also known as the CPaaS, and which will be top use cases in 2025. So this is what we have for this lecture in its second part. And thank you for listening, and hope that this chapter will be very helpful and useful for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.